All right, the topic of this workshop is Young in Recovery and Miracles at Midnight. Our speakers are Aria and Les, so please help me welcome them.
My name's Aria and I'm an addict.
Hey, Aria.
I want to thank the convention committee for asking me to come out and speak. I've never spoken at a convention before, and it's giving me the major anxiety. My topic is Young in Recovery, and I mean, the only real thing I could say about that is, in order for me to have gotten clean young, I had to use young. And long before I ever used drugs or, really picked up a substance of any kind, I used to blame things on the circumstances and issues in the household and like the things I went through with my family. Whether it was like my mom worked all the time, I didn't see my dad enough, I was an only child, which is a lonely child, I felt like I fit in everywhere and nowhere at the same time. I blamed everything on everyone else all the time. I had a consistent victim mentality until I eventually became a victim. And, I picked up substances originally for shits and giggles when I was 12 with my childhood best friend. Most disgusting thing ever, I don't think I've ever really shared this part, we snuck Coronas and grape soda in coffee mugs, and because we thought we were cool. And it was fucking foul. And, when I was 13 years old, I was sexually assaulted by the first person I ever dated, and I took that as a running piece, and I used harder. And I decided that my body was the only thing I was worth. And I had the luxury of the internet, and I utilized that to its full advantage. And we all know what it's like to use. But I didn't realize it was abnormal to be 14 and smoke crack and sell your ass in middle school. I didn't realize it was abnormal to be 16 and pull back the headphones for my pregnant friend while she shot dope in the high school bathroom. I didn't realize it was abnormal to graduate high school high on Roxy's. I didn't realize that was abnormal. I thought I was like everybody else. I thought everybody else my age was using in some capacity or another. And I would go to parties and there would be people my age or older, and I would see the way they drank and see the way they smoked pot and see the way they tripped acid and all those other things, and I thought to myself, well, I guess I'm like that, I fit into that. But I didn't, because I didn't trip acid and I didn't do shrooms and I didn't do all the fun shit. I went right for death. I took a nosedive and skipped all the fun stuff. I did Molly one time and I was like, this is lame. I was like, there's nothing here for me. I would go to parties to find the people who had the real stuff. I wouldn't go to parties for enjoyment anymore. I was playing beer pong to pass the time waiting for my drug dealer. I never got to experience all the things that I wanted to once I realized I was missing them. I skipped out on prom because I would rather, do hard drugs and throw balloons at the girls who were going to prom, like water balloons, and ruin their prom because my prom was ruined because I ruined it myself. Or, I didn't take the SATs because, I was too busy getting high and signing up for community college. And, when I was 18, the moment I turned 18, I became a stripper. And I was like, this is my career. This is exactly what I need to do with my life. And I felt I was very good at it. And I was like, I don't have to fuck anyone now. And it fed my using for a long time. And that was detrimental. And I went missing. And I got lost in Atlantic City in a 4-block radius. And never came out. And I'm the kind of addict who, when their phone dies, they don't care and they leave it somewhere and come back for it later if it's still there. I'm the kind of addict where my mom sent the cops looking for me, and I literally yelled out the top of the trap house window, "Tell Betty I'm good!" Because they knew her and knew me. Because they were used to this same old charade over and over again of reporting me missing even though I'm an adult. And, you know, like, I went to treatment quite a few times. 3. I went to detox at the local hospital just as many times. I overdosed 8 times. But it wasn't until I really had nothing and nobody at 20 years old and raging hepatitis C that I was like, oh, maybe I'm not like everybody else my age and I'm fucked up. And, you know, like my friends were going to like 4-year colleges and having kids and getting, you know, like their lives in order and figuring out what they want to be when they grow up. And meanwhile, I was just hoping somebody had Narcan on them. And I would look in the mirror and I'd be like, wow, you look like a Simpsons character. Like, you're yellow as fuck. And I would just be like, this is my life and I'm going to die this way. If you die young, you look better in your casket. And, you know, my mom was planning my funeral. And my dad blocked my number because he didn't want to hear about it. And when I got clean at 20 and a half, 4416, square number because I'm a square. You know, like, I was like, I don't know how to live, dude. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to be a human being. The only skill sets I have is manipulation, really bad lying, stealing from my parents because I'm too afraid to steal from other people because I don't catch charges, right? Because I'm better than you. So I just steal from people that I know won't press charges. And, you know, like, I got into this recovery house and they were like, do what we say and you'll stay clean. And I was like, I mean, all right. Like, I had nothing. I had 2, actually, I'm lying. I had 2 hefty trash bags worth of clothes and a carton of Marlboro 27s. But otherwise, I had nothing. And the only reason I had those things was because I took them back from my mother's house. And my mom bought me the carton of cigarettes. And when she dropped me off at that house, she said, please don't call me when you overdose again. And I said, I won't this time. And I didn't know what I meant when I said that. I didn't know if I meant I won't overdose this time, or I didn't know if I meant I won't call you. Because I really didn't know. I had no clue where my life was going. I had no idea. I was just like, I have nothing, I have nobody, I have no friends, I have no money, I have no aspirations, no goals, no will to live. I'm skinny, I don't know if I'm hungry or dying, I don't know. And so I was like hanging out with these girls and they're like all pretty and well put together and have BMWs and parents that love them and all this shit that I don't have at the moment. And they were like, let's go to meetings. And I was like, I've been to those before in treatment. And why not? And they were like, does anybody have 24 hours or less? And I was like, I mean, yeah, but I don't feel like going up there. And then they brought it back again. So, anybody want to reconsider? And this girl just like nudged the fuck out of me and was like, go get it, bro. And I was like, okay, all right, it's mean. And I got up and I got this key tag. And next thing you know, this whole room just swarmed around me and gave me a meeting list and was like, what's your name? And I almost said my street name, but instead I was just like, Aria. And they were like, that's such a pretty name. And I haven't heard somebody say that my name was pretty in so many years because I went by Autumn for the last like 5 or 6 years. I forgot my own name. or AJ. I went by like different names because I didn't want anybody to know who I really was. And I kept coming back like y'all told me to. At first I thought that was ignorant as fuck when y'all said that. You're like, keep coming back. I was like, what does that mean? And then like I had a sponsor and she was like, let's do step work. And I started doing all the things because I didn't know what the fuck else to do. I had all the time in the world and nobody to talk to except for you people. And you're all old as shit compared to me. And, you know, I was young. I wasn't even old enough to drink. And then, like, you know, time progressed and I still hated myself. So I started doing things to not hate myself so much. So I started gaining weight. I started doing hepatitis C treatment. I got tattoos to cover all the track marks. You know what I mean? Like, because let's face it, right? Like, only I can see them. You can't see them like I can. I still see them. And like, you know, I grew out my hair and I dyed it a bunch of different colors because I didn't know who the fuck I was. And I mainly had red hair. I was angry as shit. Anybody who met me back then knew me as like an angry little shit, and that's fine because I was an angry little shit. And you might laugh because you probably know. And, you know, thanks, T-Bone. And, you know, like, I see a couple nods. And, you know, like, I just kept coming and I kept doing the things. And like, you know, I got a career. And it wasn't with 6-inch heels and a G-string. It was with scrubs and Skechers, which are really comfy. And, you know, like, I started putting myself out there. I mean, don't get it twisted, though. I'm young, so I made a lot of mistakes. When I turned 21, I couldn't drink, so I gambled instead. And I became a degenerate gambler. And I stole a Home Group 7 tradition and put it on Black and Odd and lost it. And put it back in 20s, and they said, we don't think this is the original 7 tradition. And I was like, yeah, you're right. It's not. It's my paycheck. But I tried. And I wasn't the treasurer anymore. And, you know, like, I had to learn. I had to grow in here. I had to become a part of this process where I was at. Right? Like, I had to fuck my sponsor's boyfriend. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, I had to do all this crazy shit to, like, learn that, like, I'm more than the person I was using. Because, let's face it, when I took the drugs out, I was still Autumn. I was still AJ. I was still Aria. I was still all these combobulations of people that I used to be. Before, during, and after. And when I did step work, I got to delve into those personalities, those people, those affiliations of self, and realize who the fuck I was. And I dated the same people with different genitals and faces because I don't discriminate. And, you know, like, I felt that, like, I was looking for everyone but me.
Come on, Aria.
I was looking for, like, someone to complete me besides me. Whether it be the way I looked, the people I hung out with, the people I dated, the person who was sponsoring me, the home group I had, the car I drove, which is the same piece of shit for the last 7 years. Love that thing. You know, like the tattoos I had, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, right, like, I got to grow up in here. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't get clean. If I didn't get clean, I wouldn't have spent the majority of my 20s in here. Like, you know, if everything goes accordingly, I will have 9 years in April and I will turn 30 in October. Do you understand? I wasn't supposed to live this long. I was not supposed to live this long. My life expectancy on the street was essentially like 18, 19, or 20. And I surpassed that tremendously. I'm young in recovery because I had to be young in addiction. Some people don't have to, and that's fine. You don't have to. Maybe you started a little later and you got clean a little later. That's fine. But if I didn't get clean young, I wouldn't have lived. I would have died. And I got clean right before fentanyl hit. So I'm blessed for that one too. And you know, like, the things that I've seen and experienced with being clean now, like, I can't explain to you, like, how weird it is for me every day. Like, I don't know, maybe some people are used to being clean and, like, used to being a part of society and used to their mundane existence now that they don't shoot dope anymore. I'm fucking not. I'm fucking not, okay? I'm not. Like, every now and again, when, like, I draw a patient's blood, I'm like, wow, you got some real nice veins there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or you know, like, my brain just does weird shit on occasion. Like, okay, so I'll tell you something that my brain does every day. So we have this weird thing. So we use, like, jelly lidocaine to numb patients, right? It's because it's the external numb. And it comes with this, like, plastic thing. Well, sometimes the lidocaine gel hardens up and gets stuck. So we have this needle thing, and we have to push it through. Do you see where I'm going with this? So we have to push it through the plastic container. And every day I'm thinking to myself, I'm just cleaning my crack pipe at work, you know, just minding my business. And then I put the gel back on it, and I, like, go through, and I'm like, there's the hit. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm sick in the head still. With time clean. I'm still sick, right? And it, like, makes me laugh every day at work. And I, like, and like, I can't go to my coworker and be like, did you clean the crack pipes today? Because, like, she's not going to understand what I'm saying. Even though she's very much from an urban area and might have some idea, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm just going to keep it in my head for, you know, when I'm having a bad day at work, and I stop and I breathe and I clean my little crack pipe. You know what I mean? Because that's what I tell myself to get through the day. It's little things like that that keep in touch with me and keep it green for me that I had to use young to get clean young.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
And make myself giggle a little bit, you know? Like, today, like, my things I'm focusing on is, like, building my credit score. What? What? Excuse me? And, like, you know, saving money, cleaning my room, recycling. You know, like, making sure my cat is taken care of. You know, like, taking care of my personal well-being. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. You know, like, life is fucking beautiful. Like, I lay in my bed every night, and I say, like, my little amalgamation of prayers, but there's always this one little sectionette where I'm just like, I'm grateful for this bed. Mm-hmm. And every night I look up, and there's this stain in the ceiling, and it's blood splatter from the last time I OD'd. And I look at it every night, and I'm like, wow, it's the same room. Like, I died over there, but I'm alive over here. What? Like, I get that opportunity. This is an I get to program. I don't know if you know that. I do. And I have a higher power that loves me and cares about me. They're like my mom and dad of the universe. You know? And, like, when I have nothing and nobody, and I feel alone, and, like, nobody understands, nobody's answering the phone, everybody fucking sucks. Because let's face it, people fucking suck sometimes. I have them. And they don't suck. Ever. And they always answer. It's like a phone that is never unanswered. And I can't express to you what growing up in NA has done for me compared to growing up in dysfunction and trauma and abuse and all things like that. And I don't just mean in the house. I mean in my own personal choices as a using persons in the adolescent teenage life. So, like, they say a grateful addict will never use, and, like, listen, I still don't think I'm bulletproof, but I think my chances are a lot better than they used to be. And I love being clean, and I love that I have spent my 20s in NA. And I love seeing young people in NA. I love seeing people come in 20, 21, 22, 19, 18, 15. You know why? Because I fucking get you. I understand you. I know you're in pain. Anybody judging you or making you feel less than, you are just as much of a fucking derelict piece of shit junkie as they are, if not worse. Because I was you. And I relate to you. And if you ever feel alone or you know somebody who does, you bring them right the fuck to me. So like, you know, if you don't relate to being young in recovery, I'm glad. I hope you never have to feel that pain of being a child using, basically, right? And growing up with the only concept and idea that drugs is your only friend. And everybody else abandons you. Because that's all I felt. At the end of the day, heroin was the only lover, friend, comrade. And crack cocaine was my side piece. And Roxy's were like a weekend treat. But I don't know, man. I grew up in here and I plan to grow old in here. That's all I got.
Thanks for sharing.